Hey guys! Yeah, we're gonna work on a bark drawing. I have some drama going on down here, which is kind of funny. There's a new group that we're starting that's gonna out another group. It should be very interesting. I signed it just to see what would happen. Drama! I need it! Love it. Switching to creator mode. We are gonna be doing this bark drawing now. Here's the thing. Rob, I'm glad you're here. This is really a lot for you, to be honest with you, my friend. I actually filmed this and I did a video on this and I've been editing this, and it's essentially explaining, I didn't call the person out, but that video that you had sent me, it was a little concerning to me. I wasn't upset with you. I've seen videos like that before. Where it's like they just measure everything. They measure first, like with. I mean, you're always supposed to measure, but they had a measuring tool, and and they were just like going here to here, over, back and forth. And by the way, I have my setup right next to it here. Y'all don't really need to see it, but it's simply the foot, which I have right here. So anyway, yeah, I'm going through and showing you, like, I'm talking about the mentality. It's very organized, but obviously you're watching the stream, so I'm going to do it anyway. I'll talk to you about this stuff. And also, I'm just going to develop this because this is as far as I got. This is the basic blocking, but I talked a lot about the theory behind bar drawings with it. And Didn't hi 62. Hey, how's it going? All right. But yeah, so I spoke about the theory behind it and such, and but I really haven't. Obviously, I haven't worked this up past what I have here. So I figured I would just do that today and just talk about everything that I'm doing. So I'm essentially just correcting all the work that I've done, and I'll develop this, and maybe I'll turn it into a solid finished piece. I don't know because I hate this. If you'll see the title of what I wrote. Anyway, that's all good. So I'm highly trained, highly motivated, kind of not at times. This is actually theirs. So all straight lines, all right? We're working everything up. Clara, what's up? Here we go, that's better. And again, I'm not gonna. I don't want to bully anybody with that stuff, because some people are taught, and I think I don't know. I don't think it's a good method. I think it's very. You're selling yourself short with that type of measuring, that type of construction method, because it's prioritizing using instruments to get to get distances instead of forcing yourself to see with your eyes. And that's important because when you have a model that moves, you're going to have to be able to observe things. You can't always measure everything with a tool accurately when you have a moving model. And that's why we're doing this type of work, is it's preparing us for live models, right? It's very important. So right now, so for example, I could, if I really wanted to, start using a measuring tool, right? I'm not going to. I'm opting to just train my eye with this stuff, okay? Train my eye and just get the practice that I need, right, for this. And just watch. So you guys, if you watch my plants, they'll move, this little tapping method that I always do, I always talk about, you'll understand my thought process. You'll understand all the points that I'm referencing, and hopefully the music isn't too loud. I think it might be a little bit too loud. just a little for you. It's kind of loud. This I'm going to keep soft. Soft, soft, soft. Okay. This comes in. I'm trying to do a straight line. It's kind of hard because I don't have any board to rest on there, so I kind of have to lift my hand off. That was poor playing on my part, but it's going to be a challenge for me. It's okay. I can do it. I don't know if it was aimed at young school children. It didn't seem that way to me. Look, he's going for, I need to, you know, Lewis, you just remind, it's funny, I just had, I did a video just now, I filmed one, and I had my hair up like that, to kind of make fun of that, because I'm, whatever. Lewis, would you use a tool to check afterwards whether you got it right? Yeah, definitely I would, and totally makes sense. Super to see you do this today. Hey, thank you. So, yeah, like I will use a tool at some point to correct this. At some point, I will definitely use a tool. At some point, I will definitely use a tool for this. But, it's okay that we don't use that yet. I'm just going to train my eye to see this stuff. I'm going to use this as practice, and it's okay if it doesn't look that great. It is okay. We're working this. Don't worry about this. That's an exercise. It's practice, right? You got to get loose with this stuff. It doesn't mean to say that, okay, so I brought this in, which means this might be a little bit too thin, which I think it probably is. I'm going to take this as an opportunity to actually add this piece on right here. Okay. I'm keeping the lines firm enough where I can see it, but light enough where I could very easily erase it. There's that healthy balance. Now, here's the thing. I understand we have just a range of artists in our group, right? That's great. This will benefit everybody. Everybody, I don't care what style you're doing. It's going to benefit absolutely everybody. Okay? Everybody. Training ourselves to see. So you can put whatever style you want on your work, but this teaches you exactly, you know, what you're doing with it. Like, it's so important to be able to do this type of work. When I'm drawing this, I'm looking at this entire shape here when I'm doing this. I'm not ever just drawing one part and thinking about one part. Don't do that. And I'm going to have to, this is a little bit big, which is okay because this is a little small. Let me check these points really quick. This one, here. This does come in some. Let's try it. Let's try that. Okay. And then we clean up. We clean up. So we're exercising our eye to see this stuff. That's so off. I can see it when I step back. Stepping back. Oh, hell yes. Did an underdrawing from my next painting, but I left something, I felt something was off, so I ended up measuring to be sure, and the chin was way too high. Yeah. And how did you measure? What did you measure with? Just like a stick or a plumb line? I take a photo with my iPad and transpose it over the drawing to see how off I am. It's a super easy way to learn my mistakes. That is a good way to learn. So I corrected it. I think Leonardo da Vinci actually did something similar to that. So I corrected it, but it felt like cheating. And I was wondering at my skill level, unless I use the tool, I will always lose out on fidelity. Yeah, Clara, but I run into some problems of perspective when I do that. That happens too. If I don't correct the distortion just right, you'll never, yeah, and there is that with the photograph, so that's the other thing. You want to get good at doing it in real life because you're going to see the proper perspective you're drawing from, and that's a very good point, Quildar. Unless you take the picture right, unless you know how to take the picture, and even that is iffy because it's being translated through a machine, right? We have to get out of our heads that photographs are accurate. They are, like you can see, like what, compared to like in general, you can tell somebody, but there's going to be perspective warp, and it's not accurate for an artist drawing for the most part. Now, it's another thing if it's a reference that you're going off of. That reference has always been the same, then fine. That's fine. You'll never learn what you're doing right unless you are shown what you're doing wrong. That's true. That's true, but sometimes you can see it yourself, and you learn to see it, and that's what I'm trying to teach. So, are you working from the first example of the foot, or are you working from the final drawing? The final drawing. The final drawing. That first example is just to give you a rough idea of how to block it in, but it's not accurate to this. So I have to use a tool to get the accuracy right, but if I don't, it's more creative, more mine. That has value too, I suppose. Not necessarily. It can still have value even if you use the tool, and it can still be creative even if you use the tool. All right, so, Queller, if I'm you have enough skill to not use tools for an extended period of time to train your eye to see what you need to see and to improve, all right? And I'm kind of going to be doing that here for myself. In other words, you use the tool as a corrective when you can't possibly see it, and you couldn't see it for like 30 or 40 minutes, and your eye is old. Then go and use a plumb line or a tool and look, but do not change it unless you see and understand what is up there. There's nothing wrong with using tools. You just don't want to use them right off the bat. And you want to get your eye tired. You want to not be able to see things so that you can push past that. It's kind of like when you're jogging and you're running. You're never going to get better if you always stop when you get tired. It's the people who can push through the pain and continue on, and then they rest, right? Those are the people who improve, and it's the same with drawing. It is the same with drawing. It's the same. This is actually pretty far off. It's the same. Also, just watch how I'm constantly going over everything, constantly going around correcting, constantly, and I'm going back and forth and looking and comparing everything. Even if look, and here's something, even if I'm not drawing well today, and even if I'm getting the proportions wrong, this is great practice to learn to do that. For as many things as I'm doing wrong, I'm also doing good things. And I want you to apply that to your own work as well. Because otherwise, you're going to look at it and be like, this is shit and I'm shit. And that's not true. You might be doing 5 things right that you haven't done before, but it's being overshadowed because you think it looks like shit. I say that because I go through the same stuff sometimes, and you have to keep in mind what you're doing right. There's a lot of things here that need to happen, that need to come together. That's correct. This part drops there. Across here, this comes up a little bit here. That drops. There you go. A lot of things need to happen, but this will teach you technically what needs to happen. And then it's just a matter of keeping a cool head and being common sense about it and practicing what you've done. Yeah, I was using my eye as long as possible. Good, good. Will you put the plumb line in the drawing? That's a great question. I'm not going to, but if I was to do the plumb line, I would put it in, here's my plumb line. I would have it here. In the example, I think they put it here. This doesn't make sense because the plumb line is meant essentially to help you break this down. If you can't see this distance, it helps you to see this width and this width right here, right, instead of this whole thing. But this is like nothing. That's easy to see, and then this is hard to see. So put it here. And you want to put it through a solid point that's obvious. So either here or even here on the foot. I would put it through a solid point, though, because the foot, even this point right here on there, is a little bit rounded. And there might be a little level of error. And the thinner the string, the better. But this is what I would do, and I would tape it 1, 2, and do it on the bargue drawing as well. Or sometimes what people do, they just draw a line through and then tape the string up on the bargue drawing. This is a great question. Imagine equations in classical. Wait, will you put this in? Imagine equations in classical nude paintings and statues circling Lewis's head when he goes in focused bargue drawing mode. Probably. I'm just thinking of like eating ice cream or something. But I like how much credit you give me. I'm putting this information in just to help me to see the larger shape in general, okay? That is essentially what I am working on right here. This drops. So I'm always going back and double checking, triple checking, quadruple checking. And then when you change something, it's going to change the way that you see everything else. So the cool thing is we have the original. Actually, I should have taken a photograph of it. It's okay. But we have the original drawing, which if you rewind, obviously, I'll have this up on Twitch for some time and, for a couple weeks, and you can rewind and watch from the very beginning to how it changed by the very end, right? And you're going to see how drastically off it was when I first started. And, you know, take heart with that. Sometimes, look, sometimes during the course of these demonstrations, I'll be more accurate, and sometimes I'll just do the stupidest stuff, and it's just how it is. That's okay. It's fine. Not a big deal. It really isn't that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm constantly shifting these lines just a little bit. Step back. Kind of messed that up. I see what I need to do. This actually does not go down like I had it before. It goes about like that, and then this little part comes also. You know, for me, it kind of comes and goes. Sometimes if I've haven't been with it for a while, you know, it might take a little bit of time to get my head back into the proportion game, like really like accurate. Like I can, you know, I'm pretty accurate, but sometimes you get out practice. Everybody does. Everybody gets out practice. It comes up just a little bit. See, this is so important to have the eraser at hand at all times. Yeah, exactly, Rob. Laura, hey. Sorry, I missed you, Laura. I'm putting in information, ignoring details, and concentrating on the big shape. Exactly. And I'm slowly breaking it down, but in the interest of the big shape. This camera automatically fixed itself. I don't know how that happened. I've heard it's really good. A lot of people want to see that. Support over here. So getting these points here, one of the keys is, because this is actually a very tricky area in the back, is obviously breaking them down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. But then not just that, like oftentimes people will make this kind of come out because they're like, oh, it bumps, so they'll kind of bump it out like that. But really look, if you look at this line right here, the angle is not going like that, it's going like this. It's kind of still turned some. So just really instead of thinking, oh, it's bumpy in the back, just think of the angles. The angles, okay? We got to get the angles. Angles. Soft, soft, soft. So this line, if I draw a line through here, where does it go through this point, right? It's almost like going through the middle, so it probably should come about right there. Something like that. What's this width? Mine's a little bit wide. So something needs to change. This angle right here, what angle is it? Angle is this way, okay? This way, and then we have this thing coming like that. What's the width? This point here. This is ballpark, but it's not. See, I'm kind of keeping this very light and you know, so it turns the form. It's not stopped, right? This needs to come up just a slight bit. And then it kind of swoops it like that. And I'm just going to squint down with this one. At this point here. Oh, I can't stay long. I have to go pick my dad up very soon, but I wanted to get some streaming done. And I'm doing some editing and stuff. And I'll try to get some streaming done perhaps tomorrow. I would like to. I really want to. I didn't get to last week, which was very disappointing. Clean it up. I'm prepared to just. Sorry, I got behind here. Good choice. Wait a second. What did Queldar say? I skipped Avatar 2? Really? Good choice, Queldar. What a waste of 4 hours. I just went with my husband to not let him be alone. 3 hours? It was 3 hours. There's basically a 3-hour nature documentary. Did they get political in it? If they did, I don't want to go see it. I just want to relax. I went prepared to be dissatisfied, and I was right. Aw. Lewis, I'm focused on values right now in my personal training. This is amazing for me. Excellent. Good. I'm glad. Plus, I am home to see it. Nice. Nice. I haven't seen Last of Us. But if you're looking for a unique and interesting plot, not so much. I watched the first 2 episodes, man. Of the game. I think it's okay, but not the greatest or anything. Yeah, I thought that was a game, right? It's a video game, The Last of Us? I don't even know what it's about. It's okay, but not the greatest. Sam was telling me about The Last of Us, talking about it was like some sort of interesting original thought. Seems pretty dull to me. Kind of seems still too early to judge. What was Frank's new video, though? I am so out of the loop with this stuff, man. Oh my gosh. Don't look. Nobody look. This is ugly. Again, this is why I do streams, so y'all can see me just make mistakes, be like, you know what? That looked awful. And hopefully I pulled it together. This is how we have to train. We don't want to fool ourselves into thinking we're better than we are. You know, sometimes it's hard to look at your mistakes and say that you made a mistake or that you're not great at something in art, right? We can convince ourselves that, like, we got it, we got everything and such, blah, blah, blah. This type of exercise, I hate doing them, but it really does show us what we need to improve upon. It really does. This is a great exercise. It's a great exercise. Lots of benefit to it. It can be very painful. Frankly, the pain comes from it being so boring. I hate doing these things. You know, I mean, it is a great tool. And, you know, when I have to articulate it for people or whatever, it's good for me. It's good. It's very good for me. So I brought that up, that piece up. First off, I just saw it dipping. It's like obvious, and it might need to go up a little bit more because mine's very incorrect right now. The bottom part in particular. I'm looking at the entire shape. It's just, it is off, but that's okay. Like I see it. I see stuff that needs to change. Pretty sure this comes over, and then it's gonna break around here-ish. Coming up, I think. Step back. I step back because if I get in trouble whenever I'm up close. I just do stupid stuff all the time. Patience. Slow yourself down. I'm squishing this into that knife edge that I always talk about, and then I'll just use it kind of like, I squish into like a little pancake, and then I can be a little bit more precise with it. And then I kind of squish it up again to clear some of that graphite away. And obviously I'm keeping it simple. I haven't really been rounding things. I mean, this, I guess, right here is as round as it gets, but then round it, that's like a series of straight lines that are just like subtle. That are wrong still, but just comfortable with it as Lewis is. Yeah, screw it. I mean, yeah, whatever. Your own thing, don't you? Yeah, Laura does. She does her own thing. And also sneak my nose into the stinking political pot is to not seem too ignorant in the human world. I do that for 5 minutes and I feel like I need to take a shower. And then I just stop. I regret doing that last year. I used to have a very well curated YouTube homepage, not anymore. Ooh, I'd like to see that. Mistakes are inevitable. The impressive bit is when you recognize something is wrong, you're able to correct it. And that comes with time, and Claire's right. Like, Claire was saying that, sometimes you need to be shown, and her method of superimposing the drawing or what have you over her drawing, or the reference over the drawing, is her solution to doing it. And there's other solutions to doing it as well, but it's best if you have a teacher who knows what they're looking at, who can see something that's off, or just a fresh eye that says this is wrong. Perhaps you're doing your ankles too thin. This, your forearms are too long. We have these habits that, and people can point that out, and then you strive to see it. And if you can see it, then you can work to correct it, and then you learn how to correct it, and it takes time, and you keep going with it, and that's how you get better. Mistakes or but why bargue drawings? The drawing of the foot isn't obviously accurate. It's from a statue, right? Yeah, I think so. The foot, I don't know what it's from, to be honest. Probably look it up. It's in the bargue drawing. It's one of the plates. Back at the Royal Academy, it was over in, I think it was like Great Britain. There was a time, Sir Joshua Reynolds writes of this, it was back in like the 1800s, where it's just the student work was just crap. And so they came up with a course that was to reteach or teach what is aesthetically pleasing, right? They wanted a standard. And so they went back to, like Greek, the ideal beauty of Greek and Roman beauty. And there were like 3 courses they chose from, and one of them was Bargue drawing course, which essentially Charles Bargue did these plates. And what it's supposed to do is specifically for the student, it teaches them aesthetics. This is how you do a solid line. This is how a very attractive way to shade. Granted, there's several ways. I'm not saying it's the only way, but it helps build the technique and fine-tune your skills. It has very clear shadow shapes that you can draw with soft and sharp shapes. Like look at the foot and see the soft lines and the sharp lines. You see there's not a lot of mid-tone really in it. There's some, but not a lot in this one. And there's varying degrees of detail with this stuff. So the idea is the student makes a solid copy of that piece. But not only that, there's a process within that to learn, which is starting it simple, straight lines, breaking it down. This is what you see, which is the stuff that I talk about every single time I stream. Every time I stream, it's going back to the fundamentals of this. Does that make sense? And it sucks because I hate bargue drawings. Drawings are very clear, black and white plates. They come in varying difficulty. Queldar summed up what I was saying perfectly. Happens to be a foot, but it could really be. Exactly. Replicate. There's this one part in my video that I edited it out, and I might put it back in where I took a landscape photo and said this is how bargue drawing benefits you doing a landscape. Maybe I should do that. That actually sounds cool now that I said it. I just thought that I was kind of going off, like I was putting too much in. Maybe I should put that back in. Replicating statues is cool because they are not accurate, and you literally have to go away from your knowledge and replicate the flaws. Yeah, but sometimes they're very accurate. Sometimes they're very beautiful. It depends on what statue you're looking at, but you're right. So difficulty level of this one's pretty basic. This one's like probably a 2 or 3, I'm guessing. Or your Kinkles, I don't know, but you can download the book for free. Let's see, half moon sleeping on its back in the light valley to the hill. You're right, the half moon. Like diamond. Looks pretty challenging, but not the hardest. Probably when you first start, it's very hard. Everything's hard. All right, everything's hard. If you're doing it right. So not only are we seeing the shadow shape, I'm trying to see the light shape and draw the light shape as well. And I draw like more with eraser probably than I do anything else. So Rose is upset. She's been texting me all morning because she's taking an art history class, and the art teacher doesn't know art. She's saying like she had an example of something that was like realism, and another one that was what do you call it? Stylized, and she said, "Oh, this is stylized." And it was something realism, and she doesn't know her stuff at all, and she's very frustrated about that. And I told her, I said, I've had good experiences with art history teachers, but I don't know how it is these days. I really don't, and maybe it's gone downhill, and perhaps the local colleges and stuff it has, I don't know, but she's having a hard time with it. I've done exactly one bar drawing in my life, and I have to say it was a meditative experience. Queller, you need to do more. You have got to do more, man. You're missing a huge part of training. The Belvedere torso, yeah. That one is complex. People do large charcoals of that. Was it really? Was that the first stream? Is that the Arachide or something? Arachnid? No. It's like a spider. What am I thinking? It had something to do with it. It was a face. Ariadne, I think, actually. So again, y'all want to know my thought process, just watch my pencil where it goes, like where it taps, everything. Again, this isn't fun. What can I say? That's right. I don't think that line's right. That is just true. But my problem is, I think that this line, I do think this needs to drop. I'm going to drop this line just a little bit. I think that drops some. So I just need to figure out what I'm doing wrong with this. Because that, I think, is here. If this is here, if this is correct, this is here, this is here, this is here, this is going to be here, then this does have to drop. And this is here, and this is here. Maybe this piece did drop some. And then this part is here, but then this needs to drop a little bit too. Which maybe it had to. That seems a little wide. Do y'all see what I'm doing? If I dropped this and kept this, it would be too long potentially, but maybe mine was too long. Let me go back and check. So this is how we move. This is why we have to keep everything nice and light. Great practice for technique, fluidity of hand. Step back, forget thinking about what I did, just look at it, say what looks off, and then break it down. Then break it down. And look at the negative shape too, right? Outside of the foot, which, y'all might not be able to see so well on mine, but it's my little boxes I have there. Definitely sounds cooler to rank the difficulty in terms of mountain slopes. It does. You are correct. That's actually really badass. And yeah, maybe I still wish I was snowboarding. Oh, snowboarding. You're drawing your Viking friend, I think. Oh yeah, Nathaniel. The kid from Germany kept going on about Bargue drawings. Just this kid in my head taking in all this cool technique and thought process. Having fun over here in my glass of wine. There you go. What happened to the kid from Germany? He discovered Stephen Bauman and bailed. Yikes, I'm surprised how far you're going without checking. When do you check? Is it if you get stuck that you check? Yeah, if you get stuck, here's the thing. Yes, if you get stuck, check. But try to push it because you're training your eye to see. All right? But when you check and you see that something's off, try to see it. Because the whole point is you're trying to see. And you need to push yourself as hard as you can with this stuff. As hard as you can. Right? As hard as you can. You need to push as hard as you can with this stuff. There we go. Oh, this might not be right. But I'm going to commit, step back, and then judge. And when I put shadow shapes in, it'll also help me to see things as well. Right? It's all good. This doesn't work at all. This is here. This is there. All right, louder. I'll see you. Bye. Loud. Whew. Sometimes when I look at the screen, it's like makes it so I can't see this as well. Okay. So I'll see how much back and forth I do with this stuff. I'm working on a portrait. I've cheated and used the grid method. Is to try color pencil on gray paper as recommended by Clara for me to try. So it's Clara's fault. So that's basic. I'm not going to develop that part more just in case this needs to move. I need to double check this width, okay? I need to double check the width, make sure everything's fine. You don't want to polish a turd, you know? It has to be totally accurate before we go through and start doing what we do with it. Is that appearing okay for you guys? Yeah, it's okay. You'll kind of see it. I'm taking my time with this one. So the reason why I haven't done a lot of bar drawings, frankly, they're boring to watch, I think. You know, this stuff, look, again, I'm doing this because, you know, Rob, especially, you're interested in this. And Quellar, you need to be doing this. You have to. Your problems you're having is because you haven't done this. It's drawing problems. You're painting like your technique, I think, is going to be good, but it's drawing problems. You need to get that subtlety. You need to understand the anatomy. It's not just painting experience. You need to get better at drawing. And you're good. And that's why I'm saying this. If you weren't, you know, into it or whatever, or I didn't think you could, I wouldn't say it. Like with Clara, you know, she's not capable of anything. She's kind of dumb. So, you know, for her, I just say, you know what, go do your thing. Play with your ball, you know. And she does, and she drools, she bounces about, you know. But Quellar, with you, you know, you have a brain, all right? You have a brain. I haven't given up on you. Not at all. I'll tell you whatever you want, or I'll help you however you need help with this stuff. Did your eyes tear up when I said that, Claudar? Claudar, I have come down on you about your drawing recently because, you're asking me what you can do to improve. And I'm telling you, if I was you, I would freaking be doing these things. Shit, that's not lining up. Not lining up. Let's go over here. This comes in just a little bit that way, I think. That seems a little bit long. Doesn't seem right. Yeah, I should measure, but I'm trying to see it, okay? I should measure, but I'm trying to see it. Because the thing is that it's, like, I can fix it. Whatever it is, I can fix it. The issue is not me being able to fix it. It's not me, like, not being able to fix it because the paper's, like, tight or, like, scarred. I'm trying. It's here. I can't see it, and that's why I'm taking my time. This is why this is boring. This is why I don't stream this stuff. I think it's boring. He only says you have a brain in comparison to me. He's only hard on you because he loves you. Was I asking, though? He wants what is best. I think the assumption is if you are here to absorb his juicy knowledge. Well, we also like just hanging out. I don't think that. I'm also using it as practice in articulating this stuff. Because half the time y'all are talking about something else and I'm talking about this. So, of all knowledges, it is the juiciest. Damn right. Thank you, Qualdarius. Except if you are me to antagonize. Claire, have you tried solvent on your color pencil? I have not. Is that just alcohol? I have to go to this is a bit late for me. Take care. All right, man. See you, Qualdar. Later, buddy. Or take 99% alcohol, put it on a small plate. Its idea is not to fully engulf the markers in the liquid. They are markers, so that one side is touching the alcohol. Leave them to to have their night with, leave them to have their night with champagne, and in the AM, your pen will be back. It may not be a tad, may or may not be a tad lighter. If you are a blender marker, you can use that. Use a brush with zest. It pencil blend. I use a brush with zest. It pencil blend. I'm reading that wrong, probably. That Lewith. Don't go doing stuff. Lewith. Not boring. Take care, Queldar. Wait, did I say boring? No. Oh, this isn't boring? Good. All right. Well, maybe people do like it. I think this is boring as hell. I hate it. Probably the worst, probably the last person who should be teaching this because I hate it so much. But I know how to teach it, and it is very valuable. I just don't like doing it, which is really, you know what? You have to be disciplined. You have to do things you don't want to do in life, okay? You just have to do it. I have to do that as well to liven up my markers. I've put alcohol in them before, but they still dry out eventually. Bargue drawing, but I agree watching it is less interesting. There you go. Well, you should do them, Clara, because this will benefit your work. Like a lot. Like a lot. Lewis. Val, what are you doing? Just got home from work in the frozen tundra. Dude. I don't know how you're still alive, and I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know how you do it. I do not understand any of it. I would not last 5 seconds in that frozen wasteland of misery and despair that you know is outside in the north. It was minus 12 when I got up this morning, case in point. Lewis, making a mahi-mahi with mango sauce for hubby. And now's the time. Thank you for all your streams. Watch them all. Thank you so much. Take care. It's 76. Eat that, Val. It's 76. I have to go in a second. I have to pick my dad up. I feel like I haven't got anything done on this. What the hell am I doing? That was a stupid move. What's there? He's so stupid. Maha. Val, did you see? Benruki, worst class ever, gets a revamp. know how to choose them. I know how to choose them. That was my fault. That was my freaking fault. Trying to look for that plant on Amazon, but couldn't find it. I'll send you a link, but I don't know if it is available in the U.S. An American artist uses Mona Lisa orderlies thinners to blend color plant. Guys, I am going to call it here. Wait, actually, hold that. Let me do a little math real quick. Over there at 4:30. I'm going to call it here. I'm going to call it here, and I'm going to try to stream some tomorrow, even if it's just for like an hour or something, to keep going. I'm doing the video work. I'm trying to juggle a lot of stuff and be productive, and I have other stuff going on too, so it's very much up in there. But I did want to do this for you guys because bar drawing, it's very fundamental. I'm always touting it, if you will. All right, so anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, Rob, Clara, and Val, everybody else, thank you so much. And I'll be on probably tomorrow at some point. Check Discord. I'll keep you guys posted. Y'all take care.